Good morning and welcome to Keysmith Concrete. If you're watching this video, it means you've made the decision to join our team of concrete professionals and start your career in concrete construction. My name is Ben Smith and I'm currently a project manager for Keysmith Concrete. I've been with the company since 2008 and have been involved in all facets of concrete construction. Today, Keysmith Concrete has many service areas, all of which you will get an introduction to in this video. Your first day on the job can be an overwhelming experience. There's new people to meet, new tools to get used to using, new equipment to work around, and new processes to learn. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to some of those processes, tools, and equipment so that your first day isn't a shell shock to you and will also help your crew leaders keep the job moving efficiently. In this segment, we will be discussing the processes, tools, and equipment utilized in the excavation, stoning, prepping, and placing of a simple slab on grade. These processes are the same regardless of the slab size, so once you understand this, it should be very easy for you on your first day. Before we get started going over the processes of our slab on grade construction, it's important that we discuss the most important factor every single day, which is the safety of our employees. Every day, Keysmith Concrete employees are expected to have the proper personal protective equipment. That is also known as PPE. Here's an example of an employee with all their proper PPE equipment on and in place ready to go for the workday. PPE starts with a hard hat. Protect your head from anything that may fall from overhead. Safety glasses are mandatory to be worn on all job sites all the time to protect our eyes from any kind of debris. All KDS employees are outfitted with safety green t-shirts to make sure they are always visible on the construction site. All employees must wear jeans, no loose-fitting clothing, and the jeans must not have holes in them. And all employees also must wear safety-toed boots with either a steel toe or a composite toe. Okay, just to recap some of the personal protective equipment that we need to have on our person every day in order to work at Keysmith Concrete. We looked through the training videos, you saw everybody wearing it in the field, but we're going to reiterate it one more time. First thing is, everybody needs to have a pair of safety-toe, steel-toed, composite-toed work boots to work in the field. The second item of PPE that we need to have is a safety green t-shirt with the Keysmith logo on it. These shirts will be given to you at time of employment. A hard hat. It can be red, it can be white, doesn't matter, but you need to have a good approved hard hat that's OSHA approved. Again, this is an item that we supply. Safety glasses. Every job, 100% all the time. You need to have your safety glasses on your person. If you're out in the field working, they need to be on your face. We supply these. If you're going to be working in concrete, fresh concrete, you need to have your rubber boots on. These are an item that are supplied by the company. It is expected that once you have your pair, you take care of it, but you need to have this on all the time if you're in fresh concrete to prevent concrete burns. Now, there are a couple miscellaneous items that are optional that our company supplied that you can use. First is hearing protection. Earplugs are available to everybody. Just got to ask your foreman or your superintendent if you'd like a set. We highly recommend gloves. This is not given by the company. This will be on your own, but we highly recommend you wear gloves. If you choose not to, that's fine, but a pair of gloves goes a long way to save your hands. If you get into dusty conditions, we do have dust masks available to be used. And the last item of personal protective equipment is on some job sites, we are asked to wear reflective vests. If we are asked to wear reflective vests, we will be giving you one. It will be your responsibility to keep it. You get one per year. Per the Keysmith Company policy, every employee at Keysmith Concrete is required to bring their own personal set of tools to work. Now, we don't require that you have them on the first day or even your first week, but once you complete your first month of employment, it is expected that you have a toolbox with the tools listed below. I'm going to go over them right now. The first thing is every employee should have a string line used to set forms and to set grades. Every employee should have a claw hammer, also known as a framing hammer, used to set forms, nail things, pull nails out of forms, and strip forms. Should also have a 3-pound sledgehammer. 3-pound sledgehammer is used when you have really tough dirt. You need to get nail pins in. It comes in handy. A framing square or a speed square. That way we can make accurate, true cuts. A pair of vice grips or pliers. Either or will work, but we need to make sure we have them so we can pull nail pins out of the ground. For your own sake, a pair of knee pads. A pair of knee pads will save your knees as you're crawling along edges, finishing the concrete, or crawling through rough terrain and dirt. Each employee needs to have a tape measure, needing how to read the tape measure and utilize the tape measure. Every employee needs to have a construction marker and a construction pencil. These will be used to mark boards, lumber, marks on walls, various things throughout the day so you can get your tasks completed. Every employee must have a nail bag with at least 3 pouches on it. Every employee should carry with them every day a utility knife, no specific brand, no specific type, but some sort of knife to be able to cut material. Each employee should have a wire twister used for bag ties to tie wire together. And last but not least, every employee should have a chalk line used to put lines and grades on buildings, on forms. That way we know where we're pouring the concrete to. This employee is a great representation of being at work and being well equipped for their day. As you can see, this employee has a construction pencil and marker. He carries a framing hammer. He has a nail bag, a tape measure, a speed square, a 100-foot tape measure, and a utility knife. This gentleman is well equipped for a day at work. When it comes to placing and finishing concrete, there's a couple tools that you're going to use every single day that you need to be familiar with. So starting on the placing side, the first tool is your come-along, which is also known as a rake. When the concrete comes out of the truck and needs to be pushed or pulled to one location or the other, this is the tool you're going to use to do it. Once the concrete has been pushed and pulled into its proper location, it then needs to be straight edged or smoothed out so it's nice and flat. At that point in time, you're going to use this tool, which is called a straight edge. You'll pull this over the concrete, it will flatten and level it. If additional work is needed on the edges, you're going to use your mag float. Your mag float is dark gray in color and is used to work edges down, make concrete smooth, and open the surface up. Once your mag float has gone through and your straight edging is complete, you will pick up what's called a bull float. The bull float does the exact same thing as the mag float, except it goes out over where you cannot reach, 20, 30-foot sections of the slab. Once the concrete has had time to get its initial set, you will start using what's called your finishing trowel. You'll take this over top the surface, it will close the surface and smooth the surface. While you're using your finishing trowel, you'll also want to cut in your edges with either a 1/4 inch or a 3/8 inch edger. These will round over the edges and give a nice smooth appearance and an aesthetic when the job is complete. And finally, at the end of the day, once everything's done, you need to clean your tools. That's where your margin trowel comes in. Every person should have their margin trowel on them every day, throughout the entire day. And this is used to clean tools, scrape hard concrete off of surfaces, really anything you need. It is an all-around utility tool. As noted previously, today we're going to be talking about a simple slab-on-grade construction. The first step in the slab-on-grade construction is job site layout. The second step is excavation and stoning. The third step is slab prep. And the fourth step would be the actual placing and finishing of the concrete. Job site layout is simply the dimensional control and elevation control of the job. We're going to go out to the job site, we're going to get our tape measures out, and we're going to measure how big the job needs to be, what the elevation of the slab needs to be, so we know how much dirt to remove and how much stone to install. The tools that you need for job site layout are fairly simple. They are a string line, a tape measure, a laser level, a hammer, and a nail pen. The second step in the process is excavation and stone work. The excavation and stone lay the basis for your new concrete slab. Once the layout is complete, lines are painted onto the ground so that the excavator knows how much dirt to remove. The equipment that we're utilizing here today is a bobcat, a laser level, shovel, a rake, the third step in the process will be prepping the slab on grade. Once the stone is in, we will again get our nail pins out, we will hang our string lines, we will set our grades. At that point in time, we're going to install the formwork. We're going to back the formwork up with nail pins. We will install expansion joint along any existing structures. We'll install any kind of wire reinforcing that needs to go into the slab. And once that's complete, we are ready for concrete. Finally, the fourth step in the process of a simple slab-on-grade construction is the actual pouring of the concrete. In this phase, we actually have the concrete trucks show up. They'll dump the concrete in between the forms, at which point the concrete will be screeded off. It will be edged. It will be bull floated. And then finally finished to a broom finish.